Right, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. This is going to be part 6 of exhaust heat shields triumph for the use of. All that I've got to clear up. This has been 2 days since the painting and that stuff settles everywhere like thick black coal dust, and there's only one way to get it out, and that's to get all the sheets down carefully because it disturbs it everywhere, and then hoover everything completely with the old Dyson just to get it completely clean. Everywhere I look there's dust, and I don't like that. I don't like working in that environment, so it's a good clean up. It's going to probably take me about an hour. When that's done and everything's ready, it's time to make a cup of tea and then get everything prepared for curing the paint on the heat shield. So there we are. Stick around, stay tuned, let's get cleared up and see what happens. Right, getting there now. Getting there now. Starting to get clean. Can't work in a dirty garage. Absolutely can't stand it. Got to be clean, got to be tidy. Got to be as clean as your house. Right, that is about it. Gonna make a cup of tea now first, and when I come back, we start hanging up the heat shields, ready to burn them off and get that paint fully cured, and then maybe we can look at the mesh. Stick around, stay tuned. I'm going to put the kettle on. Right, this is part 6, like I said, of the heat shields project, and now I'm going to cure the paint just to burn it off, get it nice and hard, nice and solid. As I explained in the past, there are 3 constituents in that tin of aerosol can spray. There's the thinners, the actual carrying medium that allows it to flow onto the job. There's the resin that sets, that actually makes it a solid surface. And then within that, there is the ceramic that once it gets hot, because it's meant to go on exhausts, so they naturally assume that in the fullness of time it's going to get hot. You'll start your engine at some point, and that heat, that 300 plus degrees heat, will then cure that paint properly. And the curing process is the baking off of the resin, is the burning off, the oxidizing or vaporizing, should I say, of the resin particles that are in it, leaving just the ceramic behind and making it extremely hard. Did a little test on the top bottom of a backy tin. It is actually, it's just like regular paint. It's tough, like fully set paint that's been there a year, but it's not like ceramic. and once it's cured it really does go tough like powder coat. So that's got to be done to these today, and I'm going to hang them up on some metal hangers and then get the blow lamp ready and burn them off. Without further ado though, quick one. Got a lovely mug sent to us. You know, people like to send us things and that's always very kind. So Christmas present, we've got this thing from our friend Ryan. Now Ryan is solo guitaristable, and that's just such a cool name. It's solo guitarist in one word, then ABLE. Solo guitaristable. That's almost a Delboyism. I like that. So thanks very much, my friend. Cheers, Ryan. Delboy and penny mug. A nice cup of tea. And as you know, tea is far too wet to have just by itself. It indeed would cause all sorts of health problems if you just had tea on its own. So you have to have something to soak it up. So I'm going to have a cup of tea and a Kit Kat, get all these hung up, ready to go, and then join us again when we get the blow lamp out and start making smoke and fumes and things. See you in a minute. Right, first job. Wire coat hanger. And I've got to make 4 hooks. So that shouldn't be too hard. Ready to hang up the various bits. Bit of old coating is always best. I've used MIG wire in the past, but it's very thin, and if you're going to get it really hot, I just worry that it will melt, and that would be detrimental to the piece as it hit the floor, and could spoil your day. So just a little hook like that. As I was saying, first of all, this little piece here is just a little heat shield. Sorry, it isn't a heat shield. That's incorrect. What it actually is a heel guard to stop you booting your reservoir off the side of the bike with your heel. The Scrambler has a reservoir here, unlike the Bonneville and Thruxton where the reservoir is up under the side panel, but obviously this side panel is cut away and the pipes are there, so you can't, so they have this. Now, the only reason I'm not going to bother heat curing that is simply because I am not sure what that coating is on there. There is a coating on it of some kind, and I am not sure, if at all, how heat proof that coating is. So if I go burning that up with a lamp up to 300 degrees, I could just cook the coating underneath and bugger everything up. So it also is aluminium, so it could even buckle it. So all I'm going to do is bolt it on as it is. It's perfectly alright. So there's the first bit of reassemblage. This wasn't really because it was shiny. It wasn't even shiny. This was a silvery satin finish. You know, like the lid of a builder's lunchbox. It just wasn't very nice. So I thought blacking it out would be the best thing. And there it is. So your little Diddy Allen keys, little 4mm metric, fine. I'll just nip that up gently. There we go. In situ. Another little bit buffed out. Excellent. Tough as you like. Tough as bull. Right. Using some of the leftover wire from the wrap project. Because the only internal hook on this is there, which is cool. But I want it quite away from the plastic chain for quite obvious reasons, really. Right there. So that'll go through there. Nice big hook, so it's not going to come off. When you're hanging any parts up to do anything, it's always wise just to take 2 times the trouble to be 3 times as safe. Because dropping this on the floor now at this stage, it's just soul destroying, isn't it? Just kill you. Right, that's that one. Now I don't think there's no way the heat that I'm going to put this through is going to conduct up there enough to cause an issue. It's really not. Actually, that can go up. Where are you? Yeah, a little shepherd's crook. There's this one. There's no hook on the back, there's nothing at all. So all I can use is the middle ones here. I'm not going to use these cut ones because I want them nice and clear. Just gonna nope, it's not working. Ain't even working, brother. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Put that one over there. Going anywhere. Just make sure all the stuff's really safe, and even if you walk into it, it's not going to have a problem. Right, that one. Okay, blow lamp of Doom. Just using a butane propane mix one. I'm just going to heat it up and burn off all the resin. Looking for it smoking. As soon as it starts smoking, that's curing. Need a lot. We're not looking at making it red hot or anything. Just get it hot, like an exhaust would get. Once you can feel the heat coming off it, like you would an exhaust. Put your hand there, and that feels like a hot exhaust. That's it. It's enough. You can't overdo it. You can cook this stuff off. You can, even that heat paint, you can burn it off. It's only 800 degrees centigrade, and the tip of that flame is about 1300. So you be careful. Don't overdo it. Could say it's kind of heat resistant more than heat proof. Oops. I reckon that's about it. Right, that's it. That's it. Any more, obviously that gets way hotter than 800 degrees, and this stuff rated at 800 centigrade. And that probably gets to, I mean, you can make metal orange with that, so there's no way that that paint would stand up to going bright orange. So there we are, that's it. Got to let them cool down for about, I don't know, well, till they're cool. And then they're ready to take off. Get them set up, and let's see if we can cut some of this mesh. See what it looks like. Right, little development. Just on this one, there was a tiny blister just on this end where I went just a little bit too hot, and I've just had to whack another layer of paint over that outside, but it is too cold out there. So I've just put literally one layer of paint. There's a little tiny mark in that end. A bit disappointed with that, but there you go. That's the way it goes. All I need to do is put just one more coat on that in here. I'm going to get the heater going on it. That's just the way it goes sometimes. The others, just going to do the mesh on those two for now. Get it unwrapped, get into that in a second. But for now, I'm just going to pop a couple of coats over that. Let's just add one. And just rub that out slightly. All it was, where I went just a bit too close with the tip of that flame, it just blistered the paint. Just a tiny bit. It's one little tiny blimp, and it will always show because it's the most prominent uppermost shield. So I'm just going to pop another coat over that, and that'll then have to have a couple of days to dry, so there's a little bit of a delay. Let's just get some paint on that quickly, and then I can crack on with the mesh. Only a little bit. Actually, it's this. I'm really running out of paint as well. It's this kind of thing that teaches you about painting. this kind of experiment. If you have a mistake, foul ups are good because they teach you a little bit about how to remedy them, how to get around them, and it teaches you also, in my view, teaches you a sense of patience, because it's now going to be 2 more days before I can do anything with this. I've got 1 coat left in that. Let's get the heater on it. Right. Now this is the stuff I've chosen for the job. It's actually not brass at all. It's completely different material. It's aluminium, anodized aluminium, and the reason I've chosen that is that, let's just do it this way. Be on camera. Yeah, the reason I've chosen this stuff is that it's, unlike brass or copper, it won't suffer the rigours of verdigris and go green. And also you can get anodized brass, which wouldn't go green, but it's a matte dull finish. And this stuff has got a really nice shine to it. It's going to kind of stand out. There aren't big amounts of it, they're only going to be these little circles. Right, there we are, these little circles about that size, so you're only going to see small amounts of it. So it's actually better to use something that's quite blingy and bright in order to see it. Now what I need to do is cut. The holes are roughly 20mm, 22mm. I want to cut, I reckon, 40mm to give me an overlap. Just down that line there. Now I'm going to do to start with, is cut this as a strip, I think. It's quite handy to cut it straight. You just cut along one line of links and just come across. There. Right. The other good thing with it being aluminum is that it's very soft. And even though the paint's tough, as we've both shown, just keep it from getting scuffed up. Put them like that. Now you've got a little gap there. Perfect. Now all I need to do, hopefully, is push it in. It should form quite nicely just with your fingers. Actually, it is remarkably soft. You can form it beautifully just with your fingers. And it just seems the simplest thing to do, to just hold it in there. Now this hook, the little bracket, that hooks in from the back that way, like that, and there's a bracket that comes to about there, so I'm going to put that as close to that edge as I can, just to give it every chance of being clear of trouble. Trim that down a bit. I don't want it catching that, so I can't get it on. Yeah, you can get it upside down. I want to get as much of the brass visible. It's kind of more visible that way. That's where the flats are, it seems. Just being OCD now, I think, to be honest. Right, to those of you who wondered so far how we're going to join it onto the metal, obviously we can't do anything except stick it, and it's got to be heat proof. Also it's metal, so it's got to be a metal to metal glue, and what I've chosen is this. Where are we? There you go. It's Evo Stick liquid metal. Never tried it, don't know what it's like, so first of all I'm going to do a test piece. Whip that off. I'm just going to set this up, do a test piece, 2 bits of metal, stick them together, and see how it goes before I put it on the job. Right, so let's just put that to one side for a sec. Find a couple of bits of metal to stick. Now, a bit of it on there. Yeah, that'll do. Bit of it on there. And it's supposed to stick metal to metal, no matter what, and be rock hard afterwards. So let's give that 10 minutes. It's obviously important to test anything you're going to use on a proper job before you put it on the job. So I'm going to leave that for about 10 minutes and see how well stuck that is. Now obviously, those of you who've ever tried to stick anything to a greasy surface, those of you with kids, ever tried to stick a nappy tape on a greasy skin, it ain't going to happen. If you tried to stick a plaster on when you put some Savlon on, you know it don't happen. You've got to get all the grease off behind. That's residue of the paint. But if it's detachable with a little bit of acetone, then you clearly know the glue would have been affected. So give it a good degrease before you go sticking any glue on it, because it will just fall off afterwards. That's if it even sticks in the first place. Treat it like a painted surface. Wax and grease remover. Good and tough. Constantly checking for any little bits of swarf. I found one just now. And all the time it's coming off dirty, then you know there's more of it. So just keep going at it till it's all gone, till it's just bare metal. This stuff is designed to stick to bare metal only. Right, that one and this one. Incidentally, if you don't want to go buying any fancy acetone, nail varnish remover, it is exactly the same stuff. And you can buy that in the chemist for pence. You don't have to go to a supplier for it or anything. No sort of paint, no paint supplies or anything needed. Off the shelf. A bit of grease in behind there. Right, that's it. Right, we'll do this little bit first. Checking again, like a quick said, this stuff, if you look at it, you see less of it that way on than you do that way on. That reflects more, so that will be the top that you look sort of down on. A little bit around the hole. Now, the way this stuff's marketed, the way it seems to talk about it on the tube, is the best thing since sliced bread. So I'm just going to trust it and see if it works. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't. Little circle of it and pop it on. You should just be able to press that in like that. Obviously, there's an important point: rotation. Being as that's a visible pattern, you don't want it going at a weird angle. Right, I'm just going to pop a load around the edge. Just to hold it on. Just spread that in. It's sticky. Consistency of this stuff is probably that of window putty, if you like. And it doesn't matter what it looks like on the inside, so what it matters most is that it stays there. And it does hold pretty fast. Just now, just doing this, it's pretty solid. It's sticking pretty well. I think just overdoing this, well, not overdoing it, but
copiously sticking it is important because it gets hot. I have no idea at all how this stuff reacts or behaves under heat. It doesn't say, but I can only assume from a sort of common sense point of view that as it's designed to work on metal specifically, invariably metal usually gets hot. So how daft would it be to create a product that can't take heat but is designed to work on metal? I'm hoping that I'm right in that assumption. I may be wrong, we will find out. There will be no problem at all if it doesn't work out in ripping it off and starting again. Just pressing on the holes. That's all I've done is spread it in. Lots of contact. So when it pays to get that absolute flush finish so that it fits that contour that way and that way completely, and you can just press it down and it doesn't spring up one end or anything. You get a nice finish. Right, next one. Okay, next one. Absolutely double check, triple check that bond, that's it. Ooh, weight on there, just holding that down. Right, a couple of big heavy sockets. There's a slight, what I've done is a little bit more bow to the middle, so if you just push it in the middle it spreads that way and you get, it grips all the way across. 32mm socket there. I mean, these are quite cool, these sockets. They're a good £1 each in weight, so they'll hold well. Little bar weights, that piece on the end. Right, that's it. That is all I can do for now. Now that is drying out nicely, but I won't be able to maul that about until tomorrow at the earliest. Little blemish there, which is disappointing, but I'll get rid of that, it's not a problem. Okay, and there we are. Just going to see how this stuff goes, see how it bonds. It's supposed to stick metal to metal, what it says on the tin. We shall see. Test pieces. That's getting stiff now, still not solid. Right, there we go. Right, there we go. Same old story. Drying times, can't do much more now. Got to let the glue dry, got to let the paint dry. Little mistake on the paint, nothing much you can do about it. You just have to crack on, postpone that bit and do it later. That's the kind of character building side of projects, I think. You learn a little bit about yourself when you do projects, you know, just with patience and tolerance of things that can go wrong. It's all good. It all teaches you how to be a better fabricator and customizer. It's those things that test you, it really is. It's all very easy when it's going very well. Anyway, that's got to dry. Once that paint's dry, that'll be about tomorrow, maybe.
Next day, I'm going to take it indoors, put it on the radiator. That will dry it a little bit quicker. The glue's going to dry. I don't know how long. It's still chewy and soft. It's kind of still chewy, and that's after nearly an hour, so I don't know. It doesn't set, then I'll have to go back to the shop and ask them why they call it glue. But I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will set and it will cure very hard. We'll only find out in time. Once that's done, I can do that one as well, get it riveted back on to a two-piece and then get it all bolted back together. It's booked in for remap with 3 Cross Motorcycles, which are rather brilliantly doing it for me for free. They have been amazing. Phoned them up, said I've got to book this in, change the pipes, take the AI kit off, done this and this modification. Can you do the remap? Yeah, well, was it up to us, mate? No problem. We're quiet this time of year. He said, come in any time, just give us a ring, let us know you're on the way. We'll get all the equipment set up, come up, you can watch them do it. Now that really, really impresses me. Because these days it's all about the bill, isn't it? But nope, they're not charging me a penny. So I shall cover that a little bit closer when we get to it. But I'm going to get this finished, get it on the bike. They've said go up and see them Monday, Tuesday next week after Christmas, and I'm quite impressed with that. That's pretty cool. So we shall see. Don't know, maybe Friday or something. They said any day, really. They're just empty. All this shut is Christmas, Boxing Day, and New Year's Day. So the rest they said just turn up any time. That's great. I'm going to be doing that. Now, until this dries, I can't do any more. Just to explain, Penny's asked me to explain her absence. She hasn't been as part of the videos now for a good week or so. She has a retail business. She runs a retail shop. She's a jewellery designer. She makes and sells, retails her own jewellery. That's her profession. And in that sense, she's very busy this time of year. So that's why she's not in the videos and why she's not filming being camera girl at the moment. So she's asked me to say that she is well. She wishes you Merry Christmas, and don't worry, she's not under the patio or anything. So there we go. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. I want you to ride safe, take it easy. It's winter. Those of you who are riding in the winter, good on you. Those of you who are not, give it some thought. Make you a better rider. All that. There you go. Anyway, take it easy. Ride safe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next one, and hopefully we can get this buttoned up, back on the bike, either in the next one or the one after. And we'll go from there. See you next time.